you guys. Hey, actually, you got a cigarette?
Welcome everybody to tonight's Plumes of Hazard. I am MassBlast09 and these are my co-hosts. Very tired Fubaka and also very tired Angstful Vapor. Schlons of Farts. Welcome. Ooh, such a crispy crisp on that one. Welcome everybody. Hopefully you don't live in California and your shit's burnt down. It seems like that area where all the fires were happening was like all the movie stars, you know. So hey, if it's gonna happen to anyone, let it happen to them. They can just build another one. They'll buy another California. So welcome everybody. Welcome.
It is sad. It is sad that that does keep happening out there. I mean, a lot of that's our fault for doing the stuff that we do out there, but you know.
What's that? The marijuanas?
Yeah, it's all the marijuanas.
Well, the marijuanas do that, huh?
It happens out there, and it's like it's been a thing, but the last 2 years have been bad for them. Last year
have been especially bad, no doubt.
Those winds started kicking, man. Forget it. But man, I saw some crazy shots of those fully loaded ex-passenger planes dumping. You see this freaking 4-engine plane coming down and dropping water, or whatever the mixture is.
It's not just H2O, right? There's some other shit.
It's halon, right?
Yeah. Huh?
It's halon, right?
Halon. Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh God!
Now you gotta tell everybody what's.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a good story.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So. Let me figure out how to condense it. Okay,
just preface with that it's a laser cutting group.
That's it. That's all you got to say. No, so there's a few laser cutting groups that I'm in. As you know, most of you guys know, I have a laser engraver and cutter. Anyways, safety first. At the Mass Blast residence, we have multiple fire extinguishers. I was a pyro as a kid. I now have a kid. I'm sure she's going to be a pyro, and I'm going to have another one. So I'm sure that's going to be definitely a pyro. So we, short of having sprinklers installed, I got a few different fire extinguishers. So I got CO2 fire extinguisher. I got regular, ABC fire extinguisher that has your fine, looks like almost... I call it pixie dust that comes out and gets fucking everywhere, and it's corrosive. And I also have a Halotron fire extinguisher. You can get them on Amazon, about $180, about the same price as the CO2. Well, if you know electronics and you know what a regular fire extinguisher can do to the life of electronics after you use it, you know that you really want to stay away from your regular type of fire extinguisher when I use something like CO2 or Halotron. Yeah. So I posted in this group where a guy was saying, hey, I had a fire in my laser, and how the fuck do I get this dust? This looks like silica dust all over out of the inside of my laser, on my lenses, on everything, so you can just imagine, very, very precise lenses and mirrors that he then goes and cleans with a cleaning solution and a cloth, instead of, spraying them down and getting all that stuff off of it. So of course, he buffed these mirrors so they don't work the same. Anyways, long story short, you don't want to use that. So I said, hey, next time, grab you one of these Halotron, for about the same price of a CO2. You can use it. And if you need to go look them up, you can look up Halotron videos on YouTube, and you'll see that it's not Halon, and it's the only fire extinguisher. I know some of you guys deal with FAA and airplanes and stuff like that. It's the only fire extinguisher certified to be used on board an airplane. And I believe the Coast Guard also has certifications for onboard ships. Why? Because you can literally spray it on electronics, and it is a liquid comes out, and it does not damage live electronics, or it doesn't basically dissipate oxygen, so you can still breathe while you're using this, where CO2 does that. So in a small
that pushes all the good stuff away.
Exactly. So in a small enclosed environment, like in your shop or around your laser or stuff like that, you got these guys saying, oh, I got this, 50-pound bottle of CO2 that I'm going to pipe into my laser, and I'm going to have a dump button. So when there's a fire, first of all, you should be right next to it, right? You shouldn't be fucking walking away from a laser that, we showed a video on here that could fucking burn right through your material if you ain't watching it, and cause a fire real quick. And a lot of people who didn't understand wanted to get in an argument about Halon and how it's illegal and all of this stuff. So I copy and pasted a few of the screens, and it was pretty adamant that I stopped responding to some of this shit, because people get something in their head and they just get retarded. So
it's like, hey, I know you're not talking about what I want to be talking about, but I'm going to make you talk about what I want to be talking about, and I'm going to overreact.
And honestly,
that one chemical sounds a lot like the other chemicals, so it's the same thing, right?
My logical response to the guy asking, hey, what's best to use around fires, around a laser or any type of machinery, or any type of equipment that you care about trying to save if there's a fire after it. Your last resort should be, a fire extinguisher with a bicarbonate media or something like that, where you're going to have this dust everywhere. Why? If you've ever, been around servers, servers will have fans, or computers will have fans that will then blow onto some type of heat sink. Well, if you use a fire extinguisher around and it gets into that heat sink, it will corrode it. The material that the fire extinguisher spits out will corrode those metals. So, longevity of your electronics, great. They survived the fire, but now they're fucked because, you got to take them apart and clean them. But anyways, so, I was just saying, hey, if you're going to be paying, 150, 160 bucks for CO2 fire extinguisher, you might want to look at the Halotron. I was one of the ones that fought it, and I said, what is this Halotron crap? I don't, this is, just get CO2. And then I started reading about it and read the actual white papers and the research that was done on them. Not only the videos, but it works. So there you go. That's the story of that.
So that's the story, and we're sticking to it.
I mean, and then we got, then it got to, oh, well, CO2 is just one chemical in the fire extinguisher versus, and then the guy takes the chemical composite name of Halotron and spells it out. Like, I give a fuck. Like, really, there's two chemicals: argon, which is the propellant, and the scientific name for Halotron, and that's it. That's all that's on the other fire extinguishers. So, honestly, we've had down here in Florida, and I don't know if it's more because of the temperature, but down here in Florida, we've had a few deaths of in McDonald's. Folks will come in, they will come in to fill the trucks will come in to fill the big CO2 tanks, and it will dissipate oxygen, and you will die.
And that's the dirty part about it too, is you don't know.
Yep, you won't.
You're breathing away, and all of a sudden you just can't breathe, and you pass out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's bad. It's not bad stuff.
It's not as bad as like an ammonia leak, like an anhydrous ammonia leak, but it's it's pretty bad. So hey, if you ain't got to mess with it, why even have it around? So I don't want to be putting the fire out and then be lightheaded and then fall into the fire. So there you go.
I do remember we had a kitchen accident when I was a kid. I don't even remember exactly what happened because I was pretty young. But what I do remember is my mom grabbing the old, this would be like early '80s or something, right? Grabbing the fire extinguisher, hitting it, hit the pan that went up.
Yeah,
and it was fine, but the whole kitchen and living room and stuff was just covered in just this fine dust. That was awful. Got in my fucking Atari. It got in my Atari.
I know. If you've ever used a fire extinguisher, you know how fucking fine that shit is, and it will get into everything. Yeah. So, well, and that's the thing, right? So, every fire has its fire extinguisher you can use. That's the beauty about the Halotron stuff is that it will work perfectly fine on A, B, or C fires, whether they're wood, paper, whether they're electronics. It doesn't matter, and you don't have to be right on top of it to put it out either. You can be 10, 15 feet away because this stuff is coming out. So further away from the fire you can be, the better. But it's one of those things, you just put your comment up there and watch the retardedness go. So
this is I got my fire extinguisher right here.
Jesus. Oh boy. That's not a fire extinguisher, that's a freaking cockroach extinguisher.
Well, it could be a fire starter if you have a lighter nearby.
You say fire, I say cockroach.
Right.
That can backfire. Trust me. Have you ever seen a cockroach lit on fire run into a thing of cardboard boxes? I have.
It's funny. That thought never crossed my mind.
Yeah. And if you have carpet, it will fucking
somewhere.
I haven't had to kill a roach in my house in quite a while.
If you have carpet, it will fucking light the carpet on fire too.
Oh no, I wouldn't do, dude. So, I mean, what kind was it? Like a little roach? Was it a big roach? Like
no, it was one of the big palmetto roaches down here.
I was gonna say they could be on fire. They could run while they're on fire. For like smaller roaches, would probably die instantly.
I'd say back about 20 years ago, the wasp sprays weren't as popular as they are now. So WD-40 is what we used. And I remember getting whooped by the belt because my parents came out and each overhang of the garage was black because I took WD-40 to it and held it way too long. So now you had oil and WD-40 mixture everywhere. The wasps were dead, but it was black, and I couldn't get the shit off so we ended up having to repaint it because it was just that was not fun.
That's awesome.
So I wish I'd known about that because as someone who had to deal with roaches in their house for like a while, and not like the city ones, like little German ones, like that would have been fun. I mean, flicking them was cool enough because if you got one right, like if you're a paper football guy like I am, then you can flick a roach with the best of them, right? If you get them right, you flick them and like they smack the wall, and you hear them smack the wall, and they usually don't get back up. You can't do that with like hissing cockroaches or like the giant ones seen in the city. You need like a hockey stick. You need to like slap shot them and hope it hits the wall at like 70 miles an hour.
See, I don't like spraying so usually bugs down here, if you do a perimeter spray, they're gonna die. They're gonna come out and just contact with it. They're gonna die. And some of the stuff that I use is lasts up to 6 months, and you're gonna find them dead. And usually I like to leave them like that because then I just will push them out into the backyard or something and let the lizards eat them. I love lizards. If you got lizards around your house, your life is going to be so much better because they ain't going to be no fucking, spiders now. The only thing you got to put up with is their shit. And if they're eating good, they're going to be shitting good. So you're going to see all kinds of stuff. So, but between that and frogs, you want them around your house. The frogs, you don't want your dogs getting to them, or down here we'll get snakes, right? So then you start feeding the rest of the chain, depending on what you got.
Show up. we
it's always good to keep
we're
them
talking
around.
about cockroaches and jet. Who was that? Sin? What was her name? Sin N said, "I'm fucking terrified of roaches. I would move if I ever saw one."
So here's the thing: when we moved here from Queens, the roaches, like they're German cockroaches, they came in the furniture. So
Oh shit! Really? Ugh.
we dealt with them for a while until they put out like the little caulking tubes of the gel, right? Because we did like the traps, the things that the fucking roach birth control things. It like pulsates a wave that like kills eggs, and that shit does not work. What did work was the spray always works on contact, right? But you could do your perimeter sprays as that. It only went so far. But when the gel came out, we just one application around the entire fucking house of where they were gone within a matter of weeks. I wasn't seeing dead roaches around the place. I don't know, something ate them and probably has a third arm now because they ate gel along with a dead roach. So that shit worked. It was miraculous. So that was it was so good that like whoever was still living in Queens, we were like, yeah, get that. This shit is for real. Like the stuff works. The other thing that also works is fire. You just may not have anywhere to stay after. So
Yeah. You got to catch it quick.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Ace is asking, Will, where is his damn free hands? I would suggest they are probably welded to his hand. He now that he's got those back, I don't think they're going anywhere.
Nowhere.
And they're also talking about
has free hands.
free hands. They're also talking about the new hint that Dayon put on in the group not too long back called the 50-50. That is a really interesting thing, and I wish I could tell you about it. But Ace and Girth will be doing a live review when they get their hands on theirs. So I can't tell you anything about it yet, but it is a very interesting thing.
I don't think I've looked at a picture of one, and I'm doing that right now.
There's no pictures.
Okay, there isn't. Okay,
It's still secrets. He's got Dale's got a couple cool things coming out.
So it was like half iced tea, half lemonade, like what we talked about.
It's like an Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they are also talking about the reg freehand, which I've been after down to make since I got my very first freehand a couple years ago. Whoo! Can't wait till that comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's Todd Reviews. Hello, Todd. I cannot believe.
I was just looking in chat. I was like, is that Todd?
I can't believe Todd finally made it to the States and I couldn't come.
Great Scott. Haha.
Yeah.
It feels bad.
And he took a picture with Felipe Busardo.
Yeah, he did.
He looked so out of place in that picture too. It looked like a sausage party sandwich with what's his name in the middle.
Like, one person in this picture is not wearing hair gel. Can you guess who?
Can you put the picture up? Please put the picture up.
I know exactly which picture you're talking about. I think it was on the Grams.
Yeah, I'll get it. So everybody could see it.
Todd, are you dressed? Because you could definitely come on right now if you wanted to. That would be
please tell us. I'd love to have you on. Why not?
So this is the image we were referencing earlier. This was at what was the con?
Frosty down here.
The Vegas one. I don't remember what it's called. I have a picture that I need to share. You can go ahead and talk for a minute, and I'll get there.
So this is this is what Ahmed was talking about. There you go. It's a motley crew right there.
Okay, well, yeah. Okay, two people in this.
Well, one of them doesn't have hair, so we know that.
It's actually two people.
Yeah. There you go.
Is that Stone Cold? Damn.
So from left to right, that's Mark Dimitris, Danielle Batista, Mark Fagan, and Matt Cully. And of course, Felipe Busardo in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Slancha farts.
So check this shit out. We just referenced this just a moment ago, so I can show you a picture of it because it was posted publicly. That is the freehand Gloom regulated version. What? So the here's another picture of it in a hand.
Whoa. Wait, come on. Why is the Dicode's freaking logo got to look like Evolve's?
It's either one. You can pick.
Oh, okay.
Evolve or Decoding.
Wait a minute.
¿Por qué no los dos? Is that what they're doing? Is that what Dale's making? You make a Dicodes DNA board to make for Duro?
It's the DNA Codes.
Here's the thing that got me. So I always just assumed that it was going to be a big old girl. But if you know how small a freehand is, this brown line here is the original freehand, and then the regulated version is just a on the side.
Duro said only 2 made. Be sure to sign up for the limited release.
So I'm real happy about that. He was going to have to have the height a little bit better, but he's shaved that off as well. So we've just you lose a little bit of that palm swell, but at the same time, the mods are so small that you don't really use the palm swell anyway. Like you have to balance a freehand, at least if you have a man hands. I'll show you here with something white so you can see it real well. I mean, this little guy. I mean, in order to use it, you're just using it between your fingers anyway. It's too small to grip it.
Yeah,
it just doesn't work.
And they're adding the size on the back end, right? So it's
exactly. That's what I mean. So that back end that's not touching your hand anyway. That's floating in air, so to speak. So a little bit of booty on it. It's all right. It's all good.
Definitely need more booty.
Just a little bit more of a booty.
I'm working with a square. Just robot booty.
Yep.
So, Fu, I forgot. I don't know if I told you this, but so I was at a supermarket this weekend, and I was picking up some platters for a party that we had, and sitting there waiting, and there's 2 young guys in the produce section, loading stuff, and there's a white guy and a black guy, and they're talking back and forth, and I hear the white guy go skibbity pop pop pop. I'm like, I didn't hear that right, and then the black guy responds with goom, 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 goom. I'm like, yo, these guys, what are they doing? And I hear the white guy go again, he's like, scrap. So I was just like, I'm not even looking at him. So I get my platters, I get my cart, and I make it a point to drive because they're in between 2 separate aisles, just the produce section. So I get my cart and I'm driving by, and I straight up look at the white guy. I was like, hey, men's not hot. And he goes, he's like, what? I said, men's not hot. And I just keep walking, and he's like, no ketchup. But he was like trying to think, like, what the fuck? Are you serious?
I thought this was a private joke between me and my friend.
And just like me, I'm just wearing a t-shirt, just walking by, and like, men's not hot. And he was kind of like, wait, what'd you say? It was great.
Yeah, dude, those moments in public where you and just another dude, you have like a bro bonding moment, whether it's over a meme or just some shit like that, is always dope.
He was just just dumbfounded that someone in this town.
That's the last thing he's expecting, right?
I know.
I did the exact same thing to a coworker of mine who, not my coworker, one of my superiors, not quite my supervisor, he's in between me and a lead, senior, whatever.
Yeah.
Come back to my desk with the user's like tower, and he's like, why'd you take it? He's like, this isn't. I'm like, no. I'm like, it's literally like the fans are fucked up. Like, power on the computer and shit's like all kind of making all kinds of crazy noise. He's like, "What kind of noise?" I'm like, "Skibbity pop pop." He was like in serious mode, like, "Fuck, it's Wednesday." Like, it made his day. Like, I made him lose his shit.
Hey, dude, it's Fresh 03. What up,
Yeah,
Fresh?
Fresh is in the chat.
In chat.
Yeah.
If anybody's doing some DIYs, that's the man you need to talk to. That's for sure. And yeah, Todd, he's got to be jet lagged. That's why he's still up. Must be it. Must be it. Oh, and Girth asked if Sean still has a free hand. He did, but it needs a RAM upgrade, and I keep telling him to holler at Ace. I don't think he's done that yet. But he's been using like some shitty like print box, plug kind of thing or whatever. I'm like, what, dude? Just talk to Ace. He'll make it happen. I don't know. I think he realizes that he's not quite as famous as he used to be. So I don't think he's gonna
Got him.
go on that.
Got him.
Yeah, no, and that's right. I think Will pointed that out a minute ago about how Todd's mitts, there's no, he could fit this thing in the crease of his hand. Yeah, there's no way, absolutely. And that's the thing, is Todd's hands are at least as big as mine, I'm sure. And I can't like grip this. Like who's gonna vape like this? Nah. Ring finger, thumb. That's all I need.
I mean,
if
we're talking, we're being serious about ergonomics, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, nothing is more ergonomic than I'm really surprised that this is still even, being made. There you go. I mean, the ergonomics on that.
I was just saying, it looks like something Steve Dockery made, and then I'm like, that's way too clean.
The ergonomics on that are just,
next level.
Amazing. And if you notice, the batteries are in tubes, kind of like what T-Def was making, but yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about right there. You can not only get your hand workout, you can see he's got a lot of workout hand going on. You can vape too. So, and you could also turn it sideways and play like a trumpet.
Or pan flute.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Chris said that's way nicer than anything Steve ever made.
Oh my god.
It's probably got fewer gaps in it too. Hey.
Oh,
hey, you could read how he referred to him, Angsty. Anyway.
Michael Bautista, he said, "Can I send my free hand to Ace for an upgrade too?" I'm sure you can. I think you just need to clear it with get on the list. And they post lists every couple of weeks or something. They did have a hiccup with shipping or something. Like their post over there lost a package of like 50 free hands or something coming back.
Holy shit!
But it took them a few days, but they did end up tracking it down, and they've got it. They're working on it now. So, yep. I do hope you guys had a good time in Vegas. I really regret the fact that I couldn't make it. I probably would have made a lot more of an effort had I known Todd was going, but by the time I heard that, it was way too late for me to get that done. So that sucks, but same time, I'm glad they had a good time. It did seem like a good show.
How was Todd? If he responds, how was the attendance? I saw some of the pictures look kind of sparse, but those were early on and later on, and the air looked pretty clear too. So, not sure if that was an indication of less clouds, bro clouds, or what. So, interested to see how that played out. So.
Mark just has charges that.
So, Ahmed, you got any info of what's going on in NYC with all the flavor bans that are being talked about?
I know it's on the agenda for next month.
Mm-hmm.
That they're going to be looking to ban them. Probably going to be the same deal as like they already tried to ban it once. Fuck, where's my tab?
I love all these bans going into effect.
Ah, yes.
When all the numbers are coming out showing that, we've had huge percentages of people stop smoking. I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got a PDF. Ting.
While you pull that up, I'm gonna answer a question real quick. Christian just asked if how's SVA's customer service? Is it the same as Limelight? Let's just say there's a reason I don't buy products other than Limelights anymore. We'll put it that way. I'll be as kind as I can. It's difficult to get much of anything serviced mod wise these days. That's about as nice as I can be, I think.
Here's the part of the rule that really bugged me is I don't know. I think this may have been on the first proposal, but to include possession of e-liquid. Title of Part 9 is read as follows: Fillings and synthetic cannabinoids. Yes, get rid of synthetic cannabinoids. Possession.
Because the one that I saw posted, the one post that was 8 hours ago, said, the New York Post article said the proposed rule was taken down for further legal review as it should be. Maybe the link was, but the state register is still up with the link included. And then it says, I don't see how you could legally speaking have a product that is legal for adults to purchase and possess and have it be rendered an illegal substance and contraband by simply adding strawberry food flavoring. There's just no way that would stand up in court. That's America for you.
So possession means to have physical possession or otherwise exercise dominion or control over flavored e-liquids or a product containing the same for purpose of this definition among other circumstances.
Oh,
not limited to...
you got me presented.
I don't have you presented.
Oh.
I'm clicked on myself right now.
Oh, okay.
You were just talking, Massey, while he...
Oh, sorry.
Who was sharing his screen, but you were talking, so you were up, I think, is the problem.
Yeah. All right. So, for purposes, following individuals and our entities shall be deemed to possess flavored e-liquids, a product containing the same or any component part that imparts flavor to any cigarette. Any individual entity that has an ownership interest in the retail distribution. Retails or offers for sale flavored e-liquids or a product containing the same. And 2, any clerk, cashier, employee, or staff of a retail establishment which establishment possesses, distributes, sells, or offers for sale a flavored e-liquid or a product containing the same who interacts with customers or members of the public. Here's the part we want to be paying attention to. Violation of any provision of this part is subject to all civil and criminal penalties as provided for by law. For purposes of civil penalties, each individual container or other separate unit of flavored e-liquid product containing the same or any component part that imparts flavor to any cigarette that shit I read before. So yeah, ban flavors and you basically limiting possession of that to retail establishments. So I don't think it's like a stop and frisk type situation where if you have a 30 mil in your pocket, basically you have to be a shop to sell it.
Unless you're brown.
Look, if I stop and frisk you and you have Nana Cream in your pocket, I'm going to arrest you. Okay? I'm just saying.
I do need to correct. I thank you, Will, for pointing that out. I do need to correct myself on that, specifically for SVAs and possibly for art and mods as well. No promises there, but Randall Steele Smith is not only is he a modder on the side, he also does retail SVA stuff here in the States. So you can find him on the Facebooks, and I think he does cover. If they're covering it under warranty, they should cover it. If they don't, then he should still be able to fix them for whatever he ends up charging you. But I know that historically, as much as I like the guy, he's a nice guy. I've met him a couple of times, but he tends to get backed up. I think he's got a lot of work on his plate, so it may take a minute. We'll put it that way. Yeah, Rick. Yeah, exactly, Rick. It's a long wait. Yep. What? Josh said that he needs somebody to service his mod for a modder that's not around anymore. You gonna tell us who it is? Girth just pointed out that we didn't do what we're vaping on. What you vaping on? Now that we're half an hour into the show or more.
Actually, I found a nice video to show, but well, we're in the middle of my thought. Got Mass T and the Narca. Same shit as usual. Limo. Yeah, angsty.
I'm still on standard operating procedures over here. The Limelight Freehand Bliss with the RAM inside. On top of there is still the Haku Vena with the belt cap, the Nomen tip on top, and rail cracker inside with the modmaker.co.uk Gorilla top cap squonky 510 filler thingy.
Man, that's a tongue twister.
It is. There's a lot to say there, but you should buy Rick's shit because Rick's a good dude. How about you, Massey?
Rob Wiggles actually didn't reply to my comment because speaking of ModMaker, he got the ModMaker kit.
I
asked him how, like, because I was too lazy to look it up myself. I asked him how much it was, or like how much it was all in for the kit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Rick sells all sorts of stuff. If you've got a box, he can sell you all the bits. He's got all the bits.
All the bits, all the giblets.
I know he has a Shapeways print that you can get made with his for his design and all that shit. So that's cool.
Yep. So I got the Lost Vape on the 3rd week on this pod, and starting to feel the cotton is going bad. You know,
a little toasty.
Yep. Getting a little not burnt, but just flavor isn't as crisp as the beginning. And then I got the big old chunker DNA and the and in here I got the new iteration of Fool's Gold. Fool's Gold, new one on here. And yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. So we're working on the juices, guys. We promise. So
so Rob just answered Foo. If anybody else is interested, just to say it on here instead of just in chat, he said 30 for the box and 40 for the bits. Ain't bad for a squonker.
Yeah, you can get all that. Like, I'm assuming shipping and potentially VAT under $100.
We should get VAT discounted.
Yeah. That's true. Because usually when you buy anything on Shapeways, like, it's a really solid quality print. I was just surprised that it was that little.
Yeah. That is true. That 30 does seem low, doesn't it, for Shapeways?
Well, because I'm also basing this off of like the 3D printed squonk that Mast has, which is far more sophisticated in terms of parts. So that was not a cheap print. So.
No, the print alone was $100.
Yeah, but that's got like a cradle built in, and it's got a bunch of other shit, right? The box is just literally a hollow ass box.
Yeah.
Will says you should get VAT discounted except if you order from Turtle
Parts or Turtle Fumes. Tuturum Plumo. I can't say it. I'm not Italian. I don't know. Tuturum Fumo.
Tutelage.
That's why I say Turtle Fumes.
So we're gonna have to take this question up with our Fast Tech Digest folks. Barbara KE posted, Fastec is removing negative reviews. I just want to let people know that Fastec is definitely removing negative reviews. I got a bunch of stuff and left reviews about a week ago, one of which was very negative. That review is now gone. Then I left a second negative review on the same product yesterday, and it's gone today. This is not general slam at Fastec. I've gotten many good things from them, but I'm very disappointed to find that their reviews can't be trusted. You don't say.
Sorry,
Mind you,
that was a good joke, Foo.
If you go on Fastec and you're worried about the reviews,
yeah, you're paying $15 for some clone piece of shit out of you.
Well, not even that, but you realize that like half of the reviews are like being memey or trolly, right?
Yeah.
Boom.
Like people leave like I would imagine that half the reviews
they're probably
people haven't actually bought.
They're
I'm
probably,
convinced.
they're probably removing the reviews because it's not funny enough. So they don't want some blah, blah, blah review on there. They want the funny shit, even if it's negative.
I
Like,
paid $10 for this piece of shit Eddie, and it sucks.
I paid $10 for this Addy, and you sent me a dildo.
Personal massager, Masty.
In addition to the Addy, with a note that said, "Go fuck yourself."
I don't believe bad clone reviews now. It's 2018. Clones are decent now.
I would be out of business so fast if I was Fast Tech. Somebody left a negative review. The next order they would place, I'd send them something and then send them a freaking, personal massager with a note.
No, Fast Tech just laughs in Chinese. That's what happens.
How's that go?
Gurr said the best reviews in the world are Amazon reviews for sugar-free Haribo gummy bears. Now, while that is very funny, there are several Amazon products that have fantastic reviews. That is one of them, that's for sure. What about like the Three Wolf shirt, right? That's a classic.
That's literally what I just typed in chat. Yeah, those shirts.
Dude, no joke though, that I don't know if you've ever ran into this, but I have gotten some links that say they're pointing to one item and they go to something completely different. And sometimes that can be embarrassing if you're at work and you pull something like that up on the projector in the conference room where there's other people in there. When you're trying to show a connector to somebody, and just because the word dongle's in there, it goes to something else.
How would that reference to ice cream, Massey, on a presentation?
I don't know. I was trying to hook the fucking dude's computer up to the damn projector, and
I know. I think Mass had an idea for a new ice cream bar. If you ask me,
I'm not telling you.
No, it's shaped like a dong. I know.
Shaped like a dong with a banana core.
Dude, if I went to a Haagen-Dazs, right, and the only you can get the regular the milk chocolate dipped in the dark chocolate. If the only thing they had left was a milk chocolate bar that looked like a dong, I would bet your ass I'd take it. The last one, dip that shit in dark chocolate, it's still ice cream, right?
Bet your dong you'd take it. Hey, and we want to, before we forget, say a congratulations to this guy right here for getting married this weekend. Good old Gerber baby. Got married this weekend, so congratulations, Corey.
Was that the song they played for his first dance as a couple?
That's the song he came out to. So when he came out with the bride, that's what it was. So congratulations, Corey. We're happy for you.
Congratulations.
We all got get out of jail free cards. He ain't watching this. It doesn't matter. He's never gonna know.
Real.
Is it time? No, I'm glad you didn't type double dongle too. I'm sure that would have been even worse, Masby.
So, did you? Again, this is one of the ones that comes out the day after we have our show. But Anxie, did you read the comments about Evolve releasing an experimental firmware to deal with the 250C temp protection issues?
No.
So somebody made a post and said, if you use a DNA 250C device and you notice that it's hitting temp protection a lot more often than it should be, Evolve released an experimental firmware to potentially fix the issue. If you're comfortable with the fact that it's currently experimental, I'd suggest installing it. I did the international one, though, because that's the software I'm using. And once I finished trying out and reviewing Freemax's new Canthal quad mesh coil, I'm going to go back to Innikin's Aries tank and give it another try, this time hopefully without temp protection issues. So I may be doing a review. So this was posted by Nate Heavens, and inside chat is the link to the forum talking about it. So I will post that so you guys can check it out. If you got a 250C and you got, I posted in the wrong place. And you've been having any of the temp control issues. I haven't had any issues with mine, but
no, I haven't either. Other than the fact that I just don't particularly care for temp limiting stuff in general. Although replay does seem like it works pretty well. I'm looking.
Yeah, Duro. So if you're having an issue with it, check it out. They got I believe it's the second or third or it's post number. I don't know if I can see. It should link you right to it. It's like the 8th or 9th post on the way down. So on November 5th. So.
Thanks for the picture, Girth. Nobody likes much out of ice cream.
UK, 29% of doctors and nurses won't recommend vapes to smoking cancer patients. Almost half have no idea that their professions have science-based guidance on vapes. They do. So yeah, article came out last week on the medical press. 29% of health professionals would not recommend the e-cigarettes, and it was according to research presented at the 2018 NCRI Cancer Conference. It's tough. They're not, suggesting some of those things. People would rather wear a patch or chew that shit.
Or take Chantix and hope you don't kill yourself.
Kill somebody. I kind of, the gum gets a bad rap, but there are uses for it if you don't mind the flavor. And you can't, if you're going to be on a long plane flight, and you need that nicotine, you don't want to wear no weird patch or anything like that, or take you some gum, take you a lot of it, because probably not gonna do much.
I got a homeowner's loan to afford a lot of it.
Yeah.
Dude, like my uncle who lives overseas, I used to grab nicotine gum for him. Like, go buy it, I'll pay you back for it, dude. I was picking up like 2 or 3 packs at a time of like the big packs or Nicker.
Expensive.
My uncle is a very particular man, and it gets very annoying sometimes because he wants a particular brand that's not available in the US, but it's probably owned by the same fucking company. But he's just very like, no. He's like, what do you mean they don't have that brand? And I'm like, because they don't, like, it's a UK brand, and he's very, he's a born and raised in the British education system kind of guy. And so after giving him Nicorette, he said it wasn't as good as whatever other bullshit he was. But I was dropping like $150 at a time because I'm buying them in bulk for him, and I was keeping coupons for him. Like, I'd get the coupons, I cut coupons for him to use because I'm saving money. So this shit's expensive, and you know what? He can still be an annoying prick even when he hasn't.
Yeah.
He's not watching. Don't worry.
The other thing I was going to mention is something I mentioned on here before. I've seen him at a couple of the shows that I've been on, but they call them Nick Sticks. I think they're toothpicks that have.
The toothpicks.
Those are actually pretty dope.
Yeah, I used to have a buddy of mine who used to put either it was menthol and cinnamon oil on a toothpick, just to like no nick or anything. It was just a flavored toothpick. Basically, they used to carry around a bunch of them. It was nice to have.
Yeah, you could just take toothpicks, dip them in some 100 milligram base, and let them dry off, of course, and then I wouldn't recommend 100 milligram base. But
nicotinepicks.com is where the toothpicks are, and you can also get them on Amazon. It's like $6 for quite a bit, 35, 40 of them. I'm not sure. They have a little keychain on the top, but just looking at rolling prices right now, it's almost $40 for the box of I guess that's not too bad, 100 pieces. But when you're chewing, they're 4 milligram of Nicorette, so 4 milligram each, and some are saying 9 pieces for the first 6 weeks. I don't know if that's freaking daily. I never liked that taste of that shit.
That's actually a good question. Rob asked, can you swallow the gum? I don't know.
Ooh.
you can. They probably shouldn't, though, because at least here's my anecdotal example. if taking a few pulls of my cigarette in the morning makes me have to shit,
Yeah.
what happens when you swallow something full of nicotine?
Yeah.
Because nicotine, like, you know, in college we call it the shit tax you pay when you smoke a cigarette.
Right.
You know, the first cigarette of the day, but cigarette, like smoke, stimulates your bowels, and nicotine will just fuck up your shit.
So they're saying do not chew more than 24 pieces of gum per day or eat or drink for 15 minutes before using the gum. So for best chances of success, chew at least 9 pieces for the first 6 weeks daily to complete the entire 12-week program. So 100 count is 38. But yeah, the toothpicks, yeah, they got a bunch of different flavors: cinnamon, peppermint, spearmint. So
I don't know if it was that brand I had of nicotine toothpick. Someone gave it to me at a show, and I was quite fun. I was a little drunk, so I don't remember. But I had like I want to say it was a spearmint. It was a minty kind. It wasn't a menthol. I want to say it was a spearmint one. But me personally, yeah. I like snooze. I don't like go out of my way to get it, but if you put some in front of me, then
how often do you have to be spitting that out and reapplying?
Snooze? I don't spit with snooze necessarily because
no, I'm saying change it out. You know, what after you like how often are you using it?
That's the thing. I've never been like a regular snooze user, like I know other people. But for instance, like when I'm at a show, and I don't like, there are times when I'd be at a show when I'm around so much vape and I'm vaping that I don't want to vape just because being around, like you kind of don't want to vape anymore. But I want nicotine, so usually Uncle Dagger is at a show and he always has snooze with him. So I go to Papa Dagger, knock on his door. I'm like, yo. You got that good shit, and no, he has really good snooze.
Well, yeah, he's been on that for years.
Yeah, so he's a good person to ask about snooze if you want to get into it instead of buying shit at like 7-Eleven or gas stations and what have you. There's like how there's a finer side of vaping. There's a much finer side of snooze.
Yeah,
there's a 3-pack of the nicotine picks.
If I had to guesstimate how much snooze, I'd probably go through 3 pouches a day. Yeah. I don't know like what strength, 6 milligram maybe, 4 milligram, 8. I don't know, but
yeah.
So Christian's saying that he thinks the whole cigarette and pooping thing is psychological because in med school we learned that nicotine is a vasoconstrictor, which is true for vascular stuff, but it's also a stimulant, and I think it's pretty common for people that smoke. That's just something to happen, right? You drink either a cup of coffee, or for me, it was either a cup of coffee or a cigarette, or if you did both, it was straight to the bathroom.
I want to talk about the nicotine stimulating your bowels. Talk about smoke stimulating your bowels.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. The cigarette specifically. I said nicotine, but I meant.
It could also be the coffee too, because I know.
Yeah.
I believe it's an enzyme in coffee that stimulates you as well.
But. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I don't. If it was just psychological, I don't think so many people would be able to report the same.
Yeah, it was. That's the thing. It wasn't like one of those. Like when I was smoking, no one ever told me that like smoking makes you have to shit or whatever. It was one of those things.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm just like. Yeah, I'm like I get now why people smoke and shit.
Yeah. But to your point, I mean, I misspoke a minute ago when I said nicotine, but because it's cigarettes. It's not nicotine because I do this all the time, and this doesn't make me go. It was a cigarette. It did.
Yep.
I remember that was like the first thing I noticed when I started vaping. I'm like, I don't get. I get up and I vape, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Ready to go, Ambit?
Well, if it is psychological, I have a powerful psych. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. It is time for something that's 2 weeks overdue, actually. So, without further ado, crucifixions for y'all.
Remember, you gotta click on yourself because that will be me.
No, I know. I was looking. I have like mad windows open. I was trying to find the crucifixions window. So without further ado,
I love that. I love that angsty is like thinking what I'm saying.
Yeah. you turn it down just a little bit.
Yeah. There you go.
Boom. I want to say, I don't know if I put this one up before, but that's the.
Yikes.
Wow.
That one I think
Really?
I've seen before somewhere.
Okay, this one, yeah.
That one.
I forget which. This is a candy you get in Europe. I forget the name of the actual candy, but I think maybe one of our European folks, British folks in chat, can tell me which one this is mocking, because I know I've eaten this before. My fat kid senses went off when I saw this.
Whoppers?
Yeah, those are basically.
It's basically like the European version of Whoppers.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily juicefixions of a specific kind.
Wait, what do they got in their mouth?
This is a
What's with the
banana.
hashtags?
That's herpes. That's HIV, and I think she probably has some kind of VD in her mouth.
Wait, hang on. So, hashtag facial and hashtag BDSM?
Hashtag it.
And MILF, yeah.
They're getting
If I wanted to sell like, if I wanted to sell juice at a Rob Zombie concert, this is what I would take. Yeah. Has anyone ever watched Peaky Blinders? It is effectively a Boardwalk Empire-styled show, but in the UK, arguably better.
wow, that's pretty bad.
Peaky Vapors.
Peaky Vapors?
Like, what does this taste like? The Great Depression in the UK in the 1920s? Like,
I guess.
1930s, rather?
Wow.
It's like the Roaring 20s? I don't. Yeah.
And his face is that's like a pretty good picture of the guy who plays the main character too. So
So the funny thing is that I'm not finding, at least aside from what I'm being sent from people over in the UK, I think I have a few domestic ones that I still have in the bag, but I myself am not seeing as much juicefixions worthy juice on the grams to an extent.
Is that right?
I'm not. I mean, granted, I'm not Instagramming the same. Like, I'm usually on Reddit now when I'm pooping. When I'm pooping, I'm not on Instagram as often. Plus, if there was, like, dude, people would be people kept sending me this shit. I feel like I feel like we may have made a difference.
maybe. Can we stop now?
Yeah,
He's going into the solo.
do you need me to stop screen sharing to stop the music? Because you could.
Oh, my ears. They bleed.
Oof.
Something else. Remember last time I was like, oh, Steve Kennedy's machining videos are awesome.
Hmm.
I forgot there was one from like a few weeks ago that I thought I could show you, which is. Oh wait, we'll refresh because it didn't start at the beginning. Ew. Look, that's as clean as copper gets, man, before your dirty ass hands fuck it up.
Seriously.
Why is there so much copper?
Ew.
That does remind me. I'm behind on this old Tony and AVE. I need to catch up with those guys.
And this is Steve hand polishing a mod.
So much
This I want to do, personally. How many RPMs is that, Bass?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's reminding me of Dean for some reason, the Vaping Biker.
That's exactly. You giggling like a little schoolgirl.
Stop it!
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. All right.
Anyway,
Shillelagh's been polished.
Yeah, I like his stuff. Anyway, without further ado, we have nothing else to talk about.
Yes, I think that's accurate.
So, and if you visit Reddit, and especially ECR, Psycho Phantom, the ex now not ex moderator of ECR is back. So watch your P's and Q's because he's back as a mod.
Well, he's got limited permissions. Anthony Vapes is now also a mod with full permissions. He's a reviewer. He's now a moderator of a forum. I don't see any conflict of interest coming up.
Welcome.
Thank you for viewing. We'll see you next week.
And thanks to all our 2 viewers, and appreciate y'all.
We love you inappropriately.
We love the hate. Thanks for Todd for staying up past his jet lagness and staying up and watching, and peace.
Later. Wu-Tang.